we're certainly a voice, and we spend a fair bit of our time to advocate for policy change with government, and spend a lot of time working on projects also with council. So it's a good way for businesses to contribute, and I suppose in some ways gain their social license to work with us. Tonight we've got a pretty full box. We've got Jamie McMaster, who's just joined us from council. She's taken over Sarah's role, and I think Sarah did a bloody good job, so probably got a bit of a shoot there. Absolutely. We've got Jenny from the sport, thank you, Jenny, Sport and Recreation. She's going to talk to us, and she's got a co-worker who's going to be doing a song and dance as you talk, obviously, for the messaging. We've got Samantha from Boss, who's going to make an announcement, I think, on probably a new product line that you guys are working with. That's it. Russell Vine. Russell's also on the executive of the chamber, but he's got some interesting news on his own business, solar. We've got Burton, Berrydale, fantastic hotel, and very soon, hopefully he's going to open his restaurant up for people like me who like hot pot. Fingers crossed. And then at the very end, I'll talk about the Snow Trout Challenge, which is something that our chamber is getting involved with. But before we start, Jamie.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
For those of you who don't know me, a fair few of you may have seen my face before. I'm Jamie. I'm the new Economic Development Officer at Council. I've literally only just started 2 weeks ago, so I am very new to this position. But I have started coming around businesses already. We have a buy local campaign that we are trying to assist businesses to bring people back out, spend their money within your businesses, because the more that people spend within our community, the better our community thrives. So I do have some promo material going around if people do want to put it up in shops, online, all of that. I will hang out and we can chat about that afterwards. That is in conjunction with partnership with New South Wales Council, Office of Local Government. Sorry, I had to think about that one for a second. So that's one of the things. One of the other things that I would love for you guys as business owners to do, if you have not already, the economic development part of Council's page, I do release a newsletter quarterly, send out a bunch of information on what's going on. One of the big things that's about to happen is regional economic development strategy. The REDs are out for survey with businesses. So Regional New South Wales is actually asking for your assistance to look at what we're going to do with economic development in our region, all regions, but it is a very big focus on us. We have our own development plan, the strategy that goes through. So if you have some time, please jump in and do the survey. The other thing that Council would very much love you to do is please jump online to the Have Your Say. I'm sure that you have heard as community members throughout various different channels of the integrated planning and reporting suite of documents that are out at the moment. There are things for our 10-year financial plan, there are the operational plans, that it is all in there, and it is all asking you to please review it. Please jump in there, have a look, and have your say on what you want your community to look like for the next 5 to 10 years. There are community consultation sessions. There's another one coming up in Jindabyne next week. Yes, because the one's just happened this week already. There are online ones as well if you can't actually make it in. Please have your say on this. Not enough people are actually putting in comment on this. We need your assistance on that. But apart from that, if you have questions about me, if you don't already know me, come say hi. And I'll be around to introduce myself to any other businesses throughout the next few weeks. Thanks.
Thanks, Jamie.
Who wants to see their rates go up? Who wants to see their rates stay the same? Who cares about the rates? Because certainly council have already, thank you, at least one person's raised their glass. Because council's already done quite a few of these lock-in sessions, and they've been really poorly attended. The one here that we had at Jindabyne at the health centre last Tuesday, the council was there for 2 hours and 5 people turned up.
That's because it's not on Facebook. They will comment.
It's advertised on Facebook, but it's also advertised in the paper. Yeah. And it's also advertised on the council website.
It's
There you go.
open until the 6th of June for consultation, and if you want to see where your community is going to end up and have a say in what your community looks like, and I'm a community member, I'm a ratepayer as well, and I'm having my say on the documentation as a community member, I urge you all to look at it and see where we're going to end up, how to proceed forward from here.
Now, there's 4 sets of documents, it's about 700 pages. That's probably a big hurdle for a lot of people. But what I suggest you do is just skim through it, particularly the plan for the rates, the financial plan.
There's 4 fact
There's
sheets
4.
on the right side of the Have Your Say, and they will give you a quick overview of what's going on.
So
If you
have a
don't
look
have
at
time for all
those.
of it.
Contact council if you want some more information.
Yep.
Or contact the chamber, because the chamber probably will be putting in a submission. And the Jindabyne Action Group, which is side to the chamber, will certainly be putting a submission in. So if you've got a thought, reach out, let us know. Because if you don't, you've got absolutely no reason to bitch and moan about it if the rates do go up by 50% over the next couple of years. Yeah. So for most people in Jindabyne, it may end up being an extra, we're estimating about $600 in new rates. So if you want to do that, do absolutely nothing. If you don't want to see that, or if you want to see where your money's going to go to, contact council or pop along to one of their pop-in centres, and one of them is going to be at the post office next Tuesday, I believe it is, Tuesday or Wednesday, have a look. And who doesn't go to the post office? So save your time for the post.
There is a town hall one as well.
There's a down one, there's also a Zoom one coming up, I think, on Monday.
Yeah.
Well, there's 3 days on Zoom if you want to attend that. So there's no reason why you don't want to get onto it and have a look. But that's my job, to help council get involved. Otherwise, there's no reason to complain. Jenny.
Right, thank you. And thank you for sorting out the technology for me. I've left that in your capable hands. I'm not Steve Money, who was on your program, obviously. Steve is unwell today. I'm Jenny, I'm the centre manager out at the Sport and Recreation Centre. And this is Lachlan Clark. Lachlan's our Director of Southern Region and Acting Executive Director for Office of Sport, based in Jindabyne as well. I'm just going to run you through a little bit about the National Snow Sports Training Centre that you may have seen in media lately, called the NSTC. But more broadly, what we're doing with the whole site. I think that's probably more relevant to people here. Yell out if you've got questions. There's not many slides, I promise. And the third slide is a map, and if your eyesight's really good, you'll probably see it from there. If not, you may need to come forwards. I was hoping we'd have the big screen going. Before I move on though, I wanted to just acknowledge the Narragansett people of the land that we're meeting on tonight and extend that respect to any elders past, present and emerging, especially anyone who might be in the room today. So, this is the map I was talking about. I was hoping it was going to be a lot bigger for you. But I'll walk you through what we're doing with the site. We're working really closely with the Special Activation Precinct team to develop this as the Jindabyne Sport and Education campus. So we sit on 87 hectares. We're obviously currently right on the edge of township, but we recognised very early on that how we used to operate, which was a fairly separate, tucked away, not much access, not many people kind of knew about what happened there. We knew that had to change because the town was growing around us, and we had to either put up a big fence, which we didn't want to do and keep everyone out, or we embrace that change and we bring people in, but into the areas where we can have the public and separate from the areas where we can't. Part of our business, as usual out there, we have about 500 beds on site. Majority of those beds, about 300 and a bit, are used for student camps. So anywhere between kindergarten all the way to year 12 for public and private schools across the state. So those camps run year round, not just winter. And we are almost, actually we now put through more students in term 1 than we do in term 3 for winter programs. So our year round business is fairly steady on the camps side of things. There's also about 40 of those beds dedicated to athletes. So predominantly our winter snow sports athletes that come in and stay in residence with us, train on site and on the mountain. And then in the off season, there's rowing, cycling. I'm sure you've seen them on the roads and on the lake in the summertime, moving around as well. Then we have a small portion, which we call our self-contained accommodation, which is available for family type bookings, small self-contained units there. So what we're working on at the moment, obviously, is with part of the SAT planning, is changing a few big things with the site. Obviously the big one, the pink hue, that's the school going in. So we're working really closely with schools infrastructure to develop and design that school so it fits into the landscape and so that it really connects back to town and back to our site. It took a little bit of convincing on Lockwood's behalf to talk to the schools team about why we needed really good connection points. They are used to building schools in metro areas where they put the school in, they put a fence around it, and that's kind of it. They didn't really understand that a lot of the students in Jindabyne that will be going to that school finish school and then they'll come down to our high performance training centre to do their acrobatic training or their gymnastics program, their trampolining. They might go across to the BMX track to do a program with them. They might go to the oval to do little athletics. So we really needed to make sure that the kids and the school was designed in a way that they could connect straight down to us and connect into town. Part of our mantra with the Office of Sport is encouraging active transport routes as well. So we're working really closely with the school to try and develop those connections back to town. We want the kids of this town to be able to ride or scoot or walk safely to and from school. So there's the transport links both this way to town, through our site, but then also out further along the Barry Way as well. Working on those with the schools at the moment. So it'll stretch basically the length of the straight section of road on the Barry Way up here. In this little pocket is the TAFE Connected Learning Centre, which you've probably seen. The fences go up and the construction start there already. So again, that'll align quite closely with the school, but we're working with them on course design and curriculum design at the moment. They've been really open to listening to what the town needs in regards to what kind of TAFE courses and curriculum they create. So we're looking at things like tourism and hospitality and sport to form the basis of their core curriculum, and then they'll bring in courses and additions to that where there's a need. So it might be things like RSA courses or barista training or bike tech, things like that, or bike mechanics. So that's what they're really focusing in on, creating a course content that really helps the region. This area here is the BMX track. So stage 1 has been completed. That was funded through Snow Mountains BMX and built on our land, and we co-used that space. Got really badly damaged with the rainfall over the summer, so it's out of action at the moment, but they've been successful in another grant fund to actually seal the berms on the track, which will mean that it'll be much more rideable and a lot less rain damage and erosion, which is great. The High Performance Centre, or the NSTC that we've been talking about, sits down here, and that's the big giant ramp and airbags that you can see from a million miles away. You'll see it's hopefully turning back to green now instead of brown. It copped severe storm damage over summer as well, and it's just been repaired, just been reopened. So last weekend, the bigger jump. Snow Australia are looking after that whole area, like I said, and they're also running the gymnastics and acro programs out there. Next stage of the NSTC is the High Performance Centre, or the building itself. That's been funded and that project's commenced and hopefully will be finished by the end of the year. So that's the high performance training section. There will be a high performance gym in there for athletes, but then there will also be the gymnastics, trampoline and acrobatic centre, which will open to both athletes and the community. Do you want to jump in at any time, Lachlan? Feel free.
Is there any spectator area at all that
There's
you can
a
go in
small
and?
spectator area of the bag jumps.
Right.
It's only quite small at the moment because the construction is happening on
Yeah.
the building right next door. So we have kept it purposefully fairly small for now, but we're hoping to really expand that. And Snow Australia are looking at how they can host events, big air events and things like that, and actually have it as an event afternoon or days down there and bring in the public to watch, because it is pretty spectacular. What was really nice to see actually was last weekend when they had their community back opening. We had some Olympians training on the big bag through the week. So we had Val Giselli there, and his level of skill is unbelievable when you see him jump. And then right next door, we had 8-year-olds training on the development bag, all the way through to a couple of people I know in their late 50s training on that bag as well. So it was really nice to see that combination of that in action side by side.
Yeah, what I would say about what's exciting for the region is that the high performance jumps are going to be used pre and post our season, or pre-European, in those shoulder times when really there's not a lot of, it's pretty awful in May, not a lot of tourists around. But that's and same thing October, November. That's the critical time pre-season that athletes are going to be wanting to use this. So I would expect, Snow Australia over the international conference at the moment, the feedback is, man, this is world's best. Yeah. So hopefully we're going to have internationals here on the fringe times of the year, and they'll be in the shops and going down the street and going out to dinner and all those sorts of things as well. So it's a way that we can sort of help fill in the gaps and grow that market for the town.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and even out the season a little bit. What else am I up to? This part here. And you'll see I've got it tagged as, you probably won't because
Future Community Aquatic.
Future Community Aquatic and Indoor Sports Facility. We are having conversations with council about future of aquatic centres, future needs for the town and the area. We are really keen to try and secure some funding to develop that into an indoor aquatic centre and indoor community sport. What that looks like, the final picture, we don't know at the moment, but we know it needs to be indoors, and we know we need to have some different indoor sporting facilities based in there. So we're looking at whether that's courts or a sport climbing, rock climbing type thing, and an aquatic. I think that's a really important piece for the community moving forwards, and we're in very early stages of talks in that, but we're really interested in trying to bring that facility here for the community and having it really open as a community access facility.
Yeah. So about 3 weeks ago I was in Goulburn, and they just opened their $29 million community aquatic centre, which includes 2 indoor 25-metre pool and a hydrotherapy pool, which is a fantastic thing for the community. Now that was funded via a 2019 sport election commitment. So there's opportunities and managed by the Office of Sport. So we're the funding partner for that program. So that's an opportunity for the community to think about. You're talking about advocating for government. The different channels through which this could be developed. Certainly, I've presented the funding gaps back to regional New South Wales and what's funded and what's not. However, things like that, I mean, the aquatic centre is a classic, right? Because it unlocks the town once we pull it out of here. You know, it makes perfect sense when there's 800 school kids up there. You know, and a brand new aquatic centre would be great for tourism. You know, because what is there to do when the weather's terrible? You know. So.
Lockie, just a quick question. What do the SAP people say about that? Is that a chance that being funded in the SAP?
It's not funded as in the first round of SAP, no. But I mean, what we have been very good at is helping those discussions with funding partners. As Jenny's alluded to, the BMX track was funded via grant. The National Snow Sports Training Centre, while there was a seed grant there from the New South Wales government, there's Snow Australia have been successful. You would have seen they've got a naming rights, so they've got philanthropic money they've put into that, and they've also been successful in securing their own grants to that. So what the master plan does is it unlocks that. It says this is what it looks like, and then we've got staff on site that can help shepherd this development. You know, so we helped, and we're going to talk about in a second, the biathlon, but we helped bring together JCC, New South Wales Biathlon, Snow Australia, get them in a room and say, okay, here's the plan, now let's talk, what are we doing? So, so there's a strong, the more the community's invested in this, the better we'll go.
Can I just ask a question? I know it's early days, what's the rough sort of time frame that some kind of ideas might be forming up about the other types of things in there as well as aquatic?
Within the community sport area, we're open to any kind of ideas now.
Okay.
Yeah.
People, sure.
Yeah.
But when would those plans be firming up? So that's what I'm interested in.
Well, what's in it is listed on the technical study now. It's listed on the master plan. You go and see all the things that are listed under the SAP planning portal. You can go down and there's a 74-page document, but it's got everything that's listed in there. And then that really comes down to, as the funding's secured, and it's opened up, then it becomes a discussion around the detailed planning.
So are we talking 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 5
Well,
years?
there's no funding for it, so it depends when the funding.
And another question, if we have a new business in town that say has a large climbing gym, would you put a climbing gym in there and undermine that business?
Well, the climbing gym that's if the climbing gym that's planned in there is to complement the National Snow Sports Training Centre 17 metres Olympic climbing wall. That's what's planned for there. That's
so that is in the plan.
Yep.
Sport climate,
Yeah.
it's on the plan. Yeah. Whether it's funded, we don't know. Yeah.
Do you know the dimensions of that wall? I know 17 metres, but do you know how long it's going to be?
All the at this stage, it's not in detailed design. All there is concepts. It says there's bullet points. You can see the things in there. It says bouldering, Olympic climbing wall, etc., etc. So you can see what is in that technical study.
So do you think you would still pursue that as a discipline that you would have in that facility if there was an existing business already running in town?
Well, that's what the consultation would be when the funding comes forward. That's exactly the way it flows. You open that up, come in and say, this is the plan, this is the master plan. That's exactly what we did with biathlon and Jindabyne Cycling Club. We invite the interested parties in and we have a discussion.
Cool.
Yeah, well, it makes no sense to replicate facilities. We want to make sure that what we're doing either complements the high performance training side of things or it meets the community need. Indoor courts has been on the radar for a long time for the area, and we hope we can get that included or anything like that. But what we would aim for in that design is much clearer now. It's definitely not as pretty as I would like it to be, but we will regenerate soon and get it back to a really strong environmental corridor. But what we would like to see through there eventually is some kind of active transport link, so bike/walking or running trail through there that then connects through up to the school if kids need to use it, or if people want to do a loop, they can do that. If you need to get out to Leesville and you're on your mountain bike, you can ride a trail to get there. Those sort of things is what we're working on through this corridor through the middle. And the last one is the biathlon laser range and criterium track. So as Lachlan had said before, Jindabyne Cycling Club, the cross-country skiers and the biathlon crew are all coming together. They were successful in gaining some grant funding to develop that facility into a criterium track, which is basically a big sealed wide bitumen track that curves through the paddock to the rear here, as well as a laser rifle range. So it'll be used as a training facility for biathlon. They're really hoping to build that sport in this area, but also cross-country ski, who currently use the facility, will have an extended trail to use their roller ski training on their off-snow training, and cycling club will also have a wide criterium track so that they aren't just having to do the velodrome itself, they can go out onto the criterium track in the rear of that as well. So those clubs will manage the access to that, and they will allow their members to use it at various times. The other probably important thing to note, which makes the entire plan kind of make a lot more sense, is our change of entry. So that's been a really big significant change for us. Currently the entry is up here on the Barry Way, and you kind of have to drive all the way through over all the lovely speed bumps, which I'm sure everyone enjoys, and get right down to the high performance centre if you're dropping your kids at trampolining or something like that. It's right down here. What we would like to do in future is shift our entry to this end so it connects better with town. It's a much easier thoroughfare for people to get in and out. And it also allows us to protect this area up here, which is our school campus zones. So that, I guess, operates a little bit like a school in that we have children in residence and that's a child-safe area. We can't have people driving cars, walking through there, riding bikes or walking dogs through this area, because we've got 300 kids sleeping there overnight. So we really want to protect this zone and channel the public to here, and then up through the site to connect back onto the Barry Way.
Yeah, the only thing to note is the community space is on Crown Land at the end. So there's a piece of work that's been done through the SAP and Regional New South Wales, the Regional Growth Delivery Corporation about that, and there's no clear view as to how that would be looked at. But it's, I mean, it's a great concept to have that kind of like village green, you know, big oval at the end between the housing development there on the other side and the school. So I think that's a great one.
So that's it from me. Apologies that was tiny and you may not be able to see it. But please sing out if you have any questions or queries, or feel free to pop out to see me. I'm generally in the office on site there every day. So yell out if you want a tour of anything. But yeah, more than happy to answer any questions now or later. Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries.
It's quite amazing when you think about it. It wasn't that long ago they were looking at closing that facility.
Correct.
Oh.
It wasn't long
Remember that? It
ago.
wasn't that long ago.
No.
I think what changed it was actually the community support for it.
Yeah.
I think that probably
Really
again
refreshing
demonstrates the
memory.
power of community.
Yeah.
So in some ways that belongs to, well, it certainly belongs to everybody. But as a result of community activity, got that to stay where it is. One thing I enjoy about it now is, of course, when you come over East Jindabyne, Trolling Village, you look over.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see a scare.
Yeah.
Because that is
It's
just
just started back on there.
it's just such a phenomenal thing to see. You know, you come along
Yeah.
up the Calcite, you come down the hill, and then you see the lake. You get home, and you go up and over there, and you see the ramps now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just so much involved in Jindabyne. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
To see the government supporting these sort of projects, and of course SAP and the Southern Connector, which will activate, I think, a lot of these plans.
That'll
to
change
yeah.
a lot of things for us. Yeah. Yeah.
Another thing that's changed, a bit of institution, is boss. New name. You were here last year
Yep.
telling us about the new name,
Yep.
and now you've had another feather to your cap, I
I
think.
have. Thanks for having me back, guys. It's a bit last minute, so everyone squeezed me in. I've got a few notes on my phone, so bear with me if I'm looking down. Don't want to forget anything. Thanks again for all your support this last year. It's been a bit of a bumpy ride for everybody in the community, but we're here another year round. So what we're going to be doing, we tried doing it at the end of the season last year, but because we got shut down, it didn't go ahead, was a chain fitting trial at Wilson's Valley. It is only a chain fitting service, not chain rental, so people will still have to bring their chains before they enter national parks. They'll get turned around by the police or RMS if they don't have them. Sorry, bear with me. It's only going to be offered every Saturday that there's snow and it's going from Wilson's Valley. We won't be chasing the bays up and down. The reason is Wilson's Valley is the longest chain bay where we can set up camp. It's a trial, so we're just kind of getting a feel to see if it's going to work. It's not a government funded project, so there will be a fee to use this service of us. We're going to have FPOS terminals, but the reception there is not good. And I'm sure everybody knows that. We've got a paper option as a backup, but paper and snow, we all know how that works. We're working on something else, but if you're going to get it out to the community and the people that are coming through, maybe just recommend that they have cash, just so that we can keep the flow in that chain bay going. 6:30 starts until obviously they lift the actual requirements, and I guess it's just teething areas at the moment, so bear with us, but we're hoping to make it a bit smoother on the roads and safer so people can get up there quicker and we don't have the roads get shut down. So any questions, hit me up at boss. 25. So $25 per
Well
car.
spent.
I think so. We're getting a lot of people saying, yeah, let's do it, but we've got to see how it goes. And we're saying kicking off around the 2nd of July, that we're going to try and do a few dry trials before that. Can't do it on the long weekend, too busy, but if it snows on the weekend after, we'll kick it off from there.
Anything on the Alpine Way? Or just Wilson's Valley?
Just Wilson's. Seems to be the most used chain bay, so, and because it's the biggest one, it's the one we're going to try and give it a crack. And then I guess, because the government are kind of going, if you can make this happen, we'll try and do it again next year, but we've got to put all that effort into it to make it happen. So give it a crack. The more people that come and do it, we'll be able to offer the service in the coming years. So
We have some signage there, Sam, like when they drive in to know.
I'll have a big sign on the back of the ute.
Yeah.
The RMS guys and whoever's there is going to be kind of saying, go to the orange guys. They're going to be the ones fitting it if you want the actual chains fitted to your vehicle. But it's going to be hit and miss at the moment. We're just trying to figure out where we're going to have positions and stuff. We haven't done a dry trial yet. That's looking like next week. Police are involved, so they'll be there helping direct traffic through and stuff like that. So we're kind of jumping in the deep end here, but we're giving it a crack. So any questions, just reach out. And again, like we're trying to do it to get cars up there so the roads don't close down because people are having accidents because their chains aren't on properly or they don't have the right ones.
And how many start point you have there as a starting point?
Depending on how big of a day it is, I've got a team of 5 ready to go. But if it's one of those mornings where it's an hour's worth of chain fitting, you can usually tell when that's going to happen. I'll probably send 2 to 3 people up.
And how long does it take an expert to do chains?
Not long.
Yeah.
It'll take longer to do the payment than it will to put the chains on. So we've got a few things obviously to work out with paperwork and stuff like that. Reception's a really hard one for us. At the moment we get one bar without cloud cover, so we're working hard to try and get things not on the internet.
actually got a suggestion about that.
Yep.
Square terminals can now accept tapping and credit card payments whilst you're offline.
Yes.
And they will process it once you get to
Within
the
24
service.
hours, yeah.
However, the risk is if there's no money on the card or it gets declined, then that's the risk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but $25, yeah, it's pretty safe.
Yeah, I think I'm hoping 25 is we went
Yeah.
with that. It's affordable. I think
Definitely.
people will go for it. So hopefully, but I guess if you're telling people
Yeah.
they've got cash, they're not going to
Yeah.
have to worry about it later.
Definitely.
Or even setting up in town and actually selling a pass, and so then they can, and then maybe refunding it if they don't use it, like if it's
Yeah.
stamped or.
We've thought
Whole
about
bunch
doing
of-
that, like especially through our store and offering it to our customers. It's just so hard to tell when they're going to use them because you might leave town, they're fitting them, and by the time you get there, they've lifted it, and then you have 100 people coming back and you got to refund it. It just doesn't. It's not smooth. We're very busy as it is, so I'm sure we'll work out the kinks along the way. But if you have any recommendations, by all means, like this is our first time doing it. The Victorians do it, but
I'm going to say talk to Paddy Lloyd down at
Yeah.
They already do it.
Yeah.
That's service.
we're working with the Stablemans crew.
Yep.
Like they're the guys on the road, not working with, but we're working on the road with them, so they've been pretty helpful. They'll be directing traffic. We won't ever be the person saying you're not allowed to go up there, but we'll be saying your chains don't fit or they're broken, we can't fit them today. Deal with the police.
Are you going to have some spares for those who have rented it incorrectly or something breaks? So
No,
that you can put them on the
that's,
spot?
we're just there to fit chains. So if we did that, we're going to hold up traffic, and it kind of makes it pointless of why we're there. So we just want to make it as smooth as possible to get people through. That's pretty much it.
Great
Thanks,
idea.
guys. Any questions? I'm
Thanks,
a boss.
Sam.
Just hit me up anytime.
Brilliant. It's a good idea for burden, those little square things. I didn't realise you could use those offline now.
Yeah, great idea.
Yeah, nice little terminals. It's one of the good things about this networking opportunity is you get to see how other businesses operate and you can leverage on each other. And certainly for me as a personal story, I found out about Connect when I think I came here the second time it ever happened. I started coming on a regular basis, is where I met our next speaker, Russell. So Russell was a new business in town and he was starting up his solar activity. And I was building a set of cabins up at Avonside and I needed solar. So it was really easy to make connection. Again, it was hassle-free and it was without pressure. And now I've got 3 solar systems all bought through Russell. Good intro, Russell. Come and tell us some news.
and good friends as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the nice part about, good part about being in a small community like this. And it's why I'm here actually, to talk about the small community and what we've done. We've set this business up about 5 years ago, and we aligned ourselves very heavily with LG Electronics. And then February this year, LG said we're withdrawing from the solar industry worldwide. And there's a lot of people in this room that are my customers that go, oh, where are we going to go now? What's going to happen with our warranty? What's going to happen with some of the other things? And I can say we probably do somewhere between 70 to 90 solar jobs in the community every year and have done for the last 5 years. So there's probably 300-400 people out there that have bought LG panels off us that'll be a little concerned about what's happening. And I just wanted to address that head on with LG Electronics have always underwritten LG Solar. It's never been a separate business, it's just a business unit. And so the warranty on any of the jobs that have passed with any of the people that have put it in will be exactly the same. It'll still be honoured by us and it'll still be honoured by LG Electronics. But it was a shock to us. 3 months ago we get told that our premium product is no longer in the industry. What are we going to do? And we looked at another Korean company. There's a myriad of solar panels. There's all the bad stories you ever want to hear are here in Jindabyne. The people that come and do things and never to be seen again, and it's what we swore to ourselves that we would never do. So we've played in the area of premium products, and another premium product is another Korean product called Hanwha Q-Cells. It's another dealer network. LG Electronics, you all know about. They've been in the country for 40 odd years. They're a $50 billion company. When you look at LG in South Korea, they're the 5th biggest company. When you look at Hanwha Qcells in South Korea, they're the 7th biggest company. They sit there with Kia and Hyundai, and Samsung is obviously head and shoulders above anybody else there. It's very, my talk today is very much to the individuals that are interested in solar, that we're moving down with another premium product, Hanwha Qcells. So not much is going to change for us, other than the logo, but a confidence level that LG are walking away from the industry. So I just wanted to take 2 minutes. There will be circulars coming out directly to our customers, letting them know. And there's a quality option still available at Snowy Regional Solar, should the need apply. So that's all, just a quick dedicated one.
Thank you.
Thank you, Russell. And certainly Russell, to me, is living proof as to why we should buy local. And certainly when it comes to solar, there's probably a myriad of companies out there who provide solar installations, and they usually come in here very quickly and do installations and then leave very quickly. As soon as you have a problem, you got a problem. Whereas if you buy local, is invested in the community, it makes a hell of a lot of sense. So buying local, absolutely great initiative from council. I think that's the living proof of it. Talking about buying local, Burton. Burton runs a Southern Cross motoring in Berrydale, and certainly over the last couple of years has done a pretty good job with his own business, being a winner of the Business Awards last time we ran it, 2020.
Got a handout here.
2022.
Take one and pass it along.
2021. Yes. Burton, tell us what you're doing.
What am I doing? So, hi, I'm Burton. I'm from Southern Cross in Berrydale. So I came on managing the motel back in 2021, about this time last year. And when we came on board, the business was kind of going a little bit downhill, and now we're kind of picking it back up and hopefully getting better and better. The reason why I'm speaking today is that we've been nominated as part of the first ever Australian Rural Business Awards. So, funnily enough, it is the first ever that this award is being run, considering most of Australia is rural and regional. So we're very fortunate to be nominated as part of that. So I'm here, like the federal election, drumming up support and drumming up votes. So on the flyer is a QR code, and I would love for everyone to scan your cameras over it, jump into their websites. Quick and easy step, name, email, and if you could hopefully select Southern Cross Motoring and Tourist Park, Berrydale, that'll be wonderful, and hit the submit button. And show us some love. You can share it around to your family and friends. It is only one vote per person, so you can't kind of use multiple names, multiple emails. It is one person, so we can't really cheat that way.
I've voted already. Yes.
So, thank you.
So how do you get nominated for it?
For us,
Customer, or do you guys?
For us, we had a customer vote for the People's Choice, but we self-nominated for the
Category, yeah.
Category of best service-based business for the year. Yes, that one we did a self-nomination. People's Choice, we were nominated by one of our guests, and that came through an email. So, drumming it up now. And so on the back of the flyer, I'm going to do a bit of a self-promotion plug. That's nothing to do with Jindabyne, but whilst I've got the floor. Stanley Burton is is my business that's outside of the motel. We support body positivity, age inclusivity, and I should know this one. Ethnic inclusivity in the LGBTQI+ community through the sale of underwear. So I have an underwear store online, and we don't just promote slim-fitting V-shaped bodies. We support all bodies and age groups and various ethnicities. which surprisingly is quite low in the LGBTQI plus community. So that's a little plug on my own business. Again, there's a QR code there if I could ask for your votes as well. Thank you.
Good on you, Burton.
Thanks, Burton.
But I know you get a lot more votes once you open up the hot pot restaurant.
They're too cheap, so you got to put the prices up.
Love hot pot.
Saturday night hot pots.
Oh, please, please.
Like midweek, I live in Berrydale, there's nowhere to eat.
Yes.
Yeah, there's Chinese banquets. When are they starting? Are you having them again this year? The food at the Motor Inn, is it, you had a banquet menu one time.
Hot pot?
Yeah, that's all happening again. I'm keen to go.
From July on Saturday nights.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, definitely.
But I will let you know, plug was not my business, but a colleague and friend of mine. He is hoping a Langzhou handmade noodle as part of their business in Jindabyne.
Oh, is it the Jindabyne? Is that elsewhere?
Not Jindabyne.
No? Oh, okay.
There's another
Different one?
motel which I don't actually know the name.
Oh,
of it.
okay.
The owner's Sean.
You do? No?
The owner's name is Sean. I actually haven't met him myself. But he's got a restaurant in his motel, and the business going in there is a Langzhou handmade beef noodle specialty.
Oh, you'll have to tell me. You got to give me some more information.
Absolutely.
And there is a business going in for hot pot delivered to your door.
Oh, wonderful.
Well done.
Not our business.
Email me.
Even in Berrydale,
You may want to say pick up service so you don't get hit with a delivery
Oh,
fee.
awesome.
A couple of other announcements that I'll make. One is Tourism Snow Mountains, TSM. They've recently opened up grant funding applications for events. So if you've got an event in mind, connect up with TSM, Christy Hampton, and there is some money available as part of money that TSM won from the state government grants for event funding.
The first round deadline is Monday, but then there's a second round in
That's
November.
the first round,
I'm
second
gonna try and
round,
get a
which then links
application
into
in.
the next announcement, which is the Snowy Trout Challenge.
Yeah.
Snowy Trout Challenge was an initiative started 2 years ago between the different small chambers. There was Cooma, Adaminaby, Jindabyne, Jindabyne, Bombala. That ran for 2 years. What became very obvious end of last year is that if we wanted to get more funding, and that's unfortunately how things operate nowadays, is through funding. We have to be an incorporated society. So the Snowy Trout Challenge now is an incorporated society in its own right, with its own steering committee. So if you are ever thinking about lending support to an organisation, a sporting organisation, what am I looking to you for? I don't know. Consider sponsoring the Snowy Trout Challenge. Very worthwhile. It encourages people to come down in the summer months to fish in our lakes.
October and May, so
October
8
to
months.
May.
Yeah.
Certainly as an activity, we're on the lake. The Gaydon Trout Hatchery gives us, I believe, 400 to 500 trophy fish that then get released both in Jindabyne and Lake Jindabyne, and it's absolutely a fantastic way of bringing people that would not normally come down here.
Yeah. The first year it was amazing. This summer the rain sort of put off the fishing a little bit, but there's still been a lot of fish caught. But yeah,
so we're now
the looks on these people's faces when they catch a fish that's this big, you know, and it's got a little tag on it. It's like, oh, what am I going to win? And they go into the draw to win some cash prize. So we're after cash basically. Yeah, the first year we tried it a little bit, but the cash prize is definitely worth the best.
And that certainly can come from any business. And it's run itself by its own committee, so the chamber is a little bit out of it, though most of the current Snowy Trout Challenge committee is from the Jindabyne Chamber of Commerce, because some of the other chambers have got other things they want to do, but we firmly believe that summer activity is critical to the success of Jindabyne. I'm sure that as a business yourself, you've seen mountain biking go absolutely go through the roof.
And fishing too.
And you've got fishing as well.
It's
Look
so
at
much
that.
fun. Yeah.
Fantastic, smart people. That comes to the end of our planned itinerary.
Anything? Oh, yeah, no,
That's all we've got.
I think
Yeah,
I can,
that's
all I can
good.
think of, yeah.
Again, if you want to learn more about the individual speakers, go up and hit them. the best way of working these Connect evenings is not to go ahead and talk to somebody that you already know, but talk to somebody you don't know. So certainly if you haven't met somebody, go and talk to them and find out what they're doing, and perhaps lend your support, or they may ask for their own support. And certainly spend some time with Jamie here about economic development in the Shire, because certainly it's booming as an area, but we certainly need to help council steer government as to what we end up needing. Again, please come back to us in June. So we're running these events through winter. June, fourth Thursday of the month, 5:30 for a 6 o'clock start. We'll be down here in cooperation with the Jindabyne Bowling Club, who have donated the use of the room, and also some alcohol there. So if you feel free to leave a bit of a donation, that certainly helps. Otherwise, thanks everybody for coming tonight. And I hope you've learned somebody, and hopefully you'll meet somebody new. Thank you all.